just so happens we have a lover of baseball, Mr. Coach Kentera, in joining us on 97.3. You can hear him on the radio talking Padres. Coach, let's just quickly go through the four faces. I think we have this cut up, so it's about 10 seconds a person. We're going to roll the video. You can look at that monitor right there and tell us why each one of these guys should be in.
Well, Roy Halladay started with Toronto, finished up with Philadelphia, and had a marvelous career. Really was a dominating pitcher for 10 years in the big leagues. Unfortunately, he lost his life here a little over a year ago. Edgar Martinez, a two-time batting champion, and all the years he played, he had a .418 on-base percentage. I think very well deserving. I know a lot of people thought he was one of the best right-hand hitters of his era, without a doubt. And you take a look at a guy like Mike Mussina. Mussina pitched a lot of his years with Baltimore, a hitter-friendly ballpark, but he ended up winning 270 big league games. And then Mariano Rivera, the first player ever to get 100%, arguably the greatest closer in the history of the game, regular season, postseason, all-time saves leader. And pretty amazing. He's the first player ever to get 100% when you're talking about guys like Mays, Aaron, and going forward, it'll be interesting to see if there's other players now that will receive 100%.
Obviously, I like to talk about the guys who didn't get in, well, namely Clemens and Baines. Bernie Wilson was sitting in that chair. He has a ballot. He explained why he voted for both. Take a listen.
On one hand, baseball deserves to have every cheater, perceived or real, in the Hall of Fame, just to illustrate what went on in that era. Put them all in there, all the cheaters. But at a certain point, we have to stop being morality cops.
So that was Bernie's point of view, not as shared by fellow writers. As we go to this graphic right here, Roger Clemens, they're still, do we have the, there we go, still in the high, they're trending up. But they have 3 years left to get in, and they need to get to 75%. Is it going to happen?
I think it will, and I'll tell you why, Paul. I think as some of the older voters start moving out into retirement and younger voters start getting the opportunity to vote for the Hall of Fame, I think it'll continue to go up. I think like a guy with Mussina. I mean, Mussina was looked at as clean, playing in that American League East for so many years. He put up some great numbers. The guys that I feel sorry for, a guy like Fred Mcgriff. Fred Mcgriff would have had well over 500 home runs if it weren't for the 94 strike season and the delay of the start of the 95 season. You go back to Harold Baines. Everybody was upset about Harold Baines getting in. Well, Harold Baines would have probably had over 3,000 hits if he wasn't in that strike season. So, there's some other guys that I think should be in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully they're going to get their opportunity, and I do believe they were clean. But I do think a lot of the guys guys like Clemens and Baines, they're eventually going to get in. It may take them up to that 10th year like it did today, Edgar Martinez, and Edgar Martinez was never, ever considered a cheater.
That's quite a jump. I don't know if I share your optimism. 2019, I think I can see what's going to happen. The NFL is going to expand its replay to include pass interference. It's all going to be traced back to that moment right there in New Orleans. What if the Saints get to the NFC title game a year from now and they lose on a controversial false start? Are we headed towards the point where every play is going to be replayed or reviewed by replay?
Well, I certainly hope not, but I can tell you this, what happened on Sunday to the Saints, it's kind of what went on the entire year. They called more penalties this year in the National Football League history than ever, okay? People don't want to see flags. That was a blatant pass interference. There were two officials right there. I don't know what they weren't looking at, but you can't review pass interference all the time. The game will go forever.
It's an easier call in slow motion, Coach. It was more bang-bang that. I just don't like the Saints. On the AFC side of the ball, are we going to see the playoff overtime rule tweaked because of the coin flip that went in New England's favor and they marched down the field and scored?
Well, in college football, both teams get an opportunity to possess the ball. Okay, not that I want to go with the college rule from the, starting the ball at the 40-yard line going in, but I would like to see both teams, even if that first team scores a touchdown, I'd like that other team to get an opportunity. And if they go 15 minutes, they go 15 minutes. But one team just getting the ball and the coin toss deciding it, that's not a way to end it.
All right, well, the big news around here is Tiger Woods is at Torrey Pines. He was at his press conference today. The absence of Phil Mickelson came up. He spoke about how this PGA Tour schedule is different now, with the majors being pushed forward, the schedule's being compressed forward. They want to end the year sooner. He talked about that and how it's affecting decisions. Take a listen.
I remember when Norman and Faldo didn't play the tour until Doral, which was the first Florida event. They never even entertained playing the West Coast, and they stayed in Europe or playing Australia. So that's a very different animal now, and the guys are going to be making some adjustments this year, and I'm one of them.
How's he going to do?
I think he'll play well. I think Tiger feels good about where his game's at. I think he feels good physically, and I expect him to have a big weekend. Obviously, make it through the first couple of days, make the cut. And this is a great field. And as far as Phil's played 30 years in a row. And for whatever reason why he's not playing, I don't think you should take any public criticism. He's been a good community member here in San Diego for a long time.
Phil Mickelson carried that tournament for a big chunk of time. I thought, you know, a lot of people were looking at the fact that he's been very vocal about not liking the South redesign. I'm sure he was upset when he kind of got jobbed out of doing the North Side redesign. But I think what Tiger was saying, it's not about that. It's about because he won in Mexico, he has to play there, and he just has to play too much golf for a 47-year-old early on. He had to sit out somewhere. Why not sit out at Torrey Pines?
Well, he played last weekend. He played well. Ended up getting beat in the final few holes in the desert. But, you know, I can't believe the criticism he's kind of taken over the last few days about this when it was decided he wasn't going to play. But you know what? Again, 30 years in a row. If he doesn't want to play in his hometown this year, so be it.
Who are you picking to win at Torrey Pines this year, in the year of our Lord 2019?
Well, just off the cuff, I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. I mean, this is a great field, and for the fans that maybe have never been to Torrey Pines, I would urge you, even if you're not a big golf fan, go. It's a great event. I always enjoy going out there, but I'm going to pick Jordan Spieth. Why? I don't know.
Just because you feel it. Feel it in your bones. We got about 45 seconds left. Give me 20 seconds on these next two topics. Aztecs in action tonight. I think for the 118th time they're playing Fresno State. Important game. Why?
Well, I think it's an important game. They got to build up some momentum going towards the conference tournament. They can't go on the road and get beat by 20 tonight and expect to really do anything the rest of the year. It'll be very interesting to see how they play against Fresno State. Fresno State's got a very good basketball team. Former Aztec assistant Justin Hudson in his first year up there doing a great job. So big game tonight, I think, for the Aztecs to where they're going to maybe be going the rest of the year.
You watched Lakers last night?
Yes, I did.
Golden State Warriors, with the addition of DeMarcus Cousins. First of all, Klay Thompson goes off and hits 10 three-pointers. Who do you double on that team?
You got to pick your poison, and the problem is DeMarcus Cousins is back now. He's not in real good game shape. When he gets in good game shape, I don't see anybody beating the Warriors. I don't care who you have. I mean, that's one of the best starting fives in the history of the NBA.
In the history of the sport. I mean, you might just give them the trophy and save us watching a bunch of games.
I think everybody's playing for second place this year.
All right, Coach, this is what we have coming up tonight on the All Sports Report for prep. Of those, the Holy Bowl on the soccer pitch. That's probably where we're going to lead the prep segment with. You okay with it?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Cathedral Catholic, St. Augustine, Cathedral Catholic's boys soccer team got the Saints the first time 3-1. They're playing today, and I know the Saints, if they could win that today, they'll guarantee themselves at least a share of the league title.
See, that's why we have you here. John Kentera, everybody. The 5 p.m. newscast has concluded. The KUSI News at 6 p.m. is steaming around the bend.